This is part 2 for 4.1 notes. We'll talk about what a polyhedron is a little bit more in depth, get that definition going, and kind of label in our chart if it's a polyhedron or not, and give its given name. So it's more of getting exposed to those different shapes and what their names are. We will talk about other different shapes that we haven't talked about, which that was yesterday. Let's just get started and get the definition for geometric solids. Geometric solid have length. Oh, and I need an actual pen. So have length, width, and height. Okay, so geometric solids, again, there are 3D shapes that have length, width, height. And again, they're three-dimensional. Let's fill in this part of the definition. If every face, which they mean side, of the 3D object is a polyhedron, a polygon, not polyhedron, the solid is called a polyhedron. Okay, so all the faces must be polygons so that we can say a shape is called a polyhedron. If you don't remember what a polygon is, well, there's qualities that are very important for a polygon. First, that it's a closed shape, that it's flat, and that it has straight sides. So if one of your shapes has a circle or one of the faces is a circle, you can say that that's not a polyhedron. Okay, so just making it clear right off the bat, if one of your sides or your 3D shape has a circle or a curve, that is not a polyhedron. Okay, polygons are like triangles, squares, pentagons, hexagons, so on and so forth. Okay, so it could keep going, right? That's what polygons are. Now, if all of the faces are polygons, then we say those are polyhedrons. So let's kind of look which are polyhedron, which are not. Let's go to our little chart here. So the first shape that I see here is one that we kind of looked at yesterday. It's called a triangular prism. Triangular because the two bases are triangles. So triangular prism. If I look carefully, all of the faces of this shape are either a triangle or a square or parallelogram. Those are polygons. So we can say that this is a polyhedron. Ok, lo que vamos a hacer es ver todas las figuras que tenemos en nuestra tabla, nombrarlas y decir si es un poliedro, polyhedron, o no. Okay, so yo voy a poner polyhedron si es un poliedro, okay, y voy a poner non-polyhedron si no es un poliedro, o voy a poner not a polyhedron. Okay, so es lo que van a ver en esta tabla. So acuérdense que una figura 3D tiene anchura, largura y estatura, o sea, la altura, pues. So, largura, anchura y altura. Length, width, height. Okay, so hay tres cosas que son muy importantes que van a ver que vamos a usar durante esta unidad. Okay, so la primera definición vino con el poliedro. Si todas las caras del poliedro son polígonos, podemos decir que es un poliedro. Okay, entonces cuando yo digo polígonos, que las caras tienen que ser polígonos para clasificarlo como poliedro, yo digo un polígono es que tenga todos los lados rectos, es lo que más o menos se busca. Un triángulo, un cuadro, un pentágono, hexágono, esas figuras tienen lados rectos. Hay un indicatorio grande que te dice, oh, esto no es un poliedro, porque tiene o círculos como una de las caras o hay curvas. Si hay curvas o hay una curva, eso quiere decir que no es un poliedro, ¿ok? Si hay líneas rectas, puede ser un poliedro. Vamos a hacer esa clasificación en unos momentos aquí. La primera que hice fue el del prismo triangular, que sí es un poliedro. Okay, let's keep going. The next one that we have here is a rectangular prism. Oh. Rectangular prism. Okay, and looking at it, I can see all the faces are either a square or a rectangle. So this is still a polyhedron. I don't see any curves. I don't see any circles. So I say it's a polyhedron. The next shape is a cube. Hopefully you're able to kind of identify these different shapes now a little bit better. But if I look at all of the faces, they are still all polygons. They're all squares. So I can say this is a polyhedron. So, las últimas dos figuras, tengo un cubo y tengo un prismo rectangular. Los dos son poliedros. Todas las caras son o cuadros o rectángulos. Hay líneas rectas. So puedo decir que es un poliedro. No hay curvas ni nada de eso. Okay, so let's keep going. Both of these two are pyramids. Okay, so I have a triangular pyramid. So I'm just going to label this one triangular pyramid. And remember, how do we know if it's triangular or square? The base. So the one that I'm kind of underlining. The base tells you what it is. If it's a triangle, it's a triangular pyramid. The base here is a square. So this is a square pyramid. That's the best way that I can explain it. The base tells you what the name is. Okay, and it says, tell me if it's a polyhedron or not. All of the bases are either triangles or squares. So both of these are a polyhedron. Okay, what about this next one? Well, we haven't talked about this one, but if both of your bases are circles and they're connected to each other, this is called a cylinder. So, yo tengo aquí mi cilindro, cylinder, porque las dos caras, las dos bases que tenemos aquí son círculos. Voy a decir que no es un poliedro, porque hay círculos como caras y hay, curvas, ¿verdad? So, no es un poliedro. Not a polyhedron, because we have circles as bases. Whenever you have a circle, automatically you should know it's not a polyhedron. All right, and then the next one that we have here, we have something that's called a cone for your next shape. If you don't know the name, it's a cone. A lot of the times we see this shape when we're eating an ice cream cone, right? So this one, because the base, this one is a circle, I'm going to say it's not a polyhedron. Again, circles. Anywhere that you see any curves as well indicate it's not a polyhedron. Okay, so aquí tenemos el cono, que muchas de las veces vemos esta figura cuando estamos comiendo nieve, ¿verdad? Usamos los conos para comernos la nieve, para que sostenga la nieve. So, es una forma que a lo mejor lo ven cada otro día si se comen un ice cream cone. Yo puedo decir que porque la base es un círculo de este cono, que no es un poliedro. Okay, the last one, we have my sphere here. It's a circle that's in 3D. So I'm going to say sphere. I'm sorry, I think I spelled that wrong. I forgot something. The P. Sphere. I'm like, that doesn't look right. Yeah. Sorry. So sphere, just make sure you rewrite it correctly. Because again, I have curves I'm dealing with. This is not a polyhedron. So tenemos la esfera, que es un círculo, pero en forma 3D. Las esferas no son poliedros, ¿ok? Porque hay curvas. Si hay curvas, no son poliedros. Okay, so we have our chart done. Let's talk about a little bit more about some of these definitions that we looked at yesterday, like an edge, a face, a vertice. So it says a flat surface of a polyhedron. A flat surface means your face. It says a line. So that means my edge. Okay, so if we look right below here, I can see that I have a face here. So this one in red here, that is called my face. My edge, which is a line where two faces meet, is right here in green. So I'm kind of highlighting it, and I'll do the same with my pen. This is my edge. I'll put my definition there. Make sure you're doing both of those, looking at your figure and labeling it, edge and face. There's one more, which is the vertice. So it's a point where three or more edges meet. So this is called a vertice. Or vertex. So this one right here, that is my vertex or vertices, if we have more than one. Vertices. A point where three or more edges meet. Okay, so we looked at what the vertex is, what the edge is, what the face is. We looked at that more in depth yesterday. We're just kind of reminiscing, remembering what we kind of talked about yesterday and adding more shapes to today's lesson. So let's look at the cube. It's telling me, hey, how many number of faces does this have? And how many number of edges and the number of vertices? So if you kind of count out your edges, you should have 12 edges, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 edges. If you count the faces of this cube, right? So your faces are like 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. And you should have 8 faces for a cube. Okay, and then last one, how many vertices? So how many of those points? You should have 8. Okay, 8 of these. Okay, so we're practicing again how many faces, edges, vertices. You will see this in a quiz or a test. Okay, I'll ask you. I'll give you the image like I just did and tell me these few things. Okay, so I'm not going to answer these. I don't care for those. But let's do the pyramid. how many faces? Okay, so let's count. I have one face, two faces, three, and then the base, which is four. So we have four faces. Okay, and how many edges? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 edges. And last one, vertices. So I have the peak, the point 1, and then 4 down below here in the base. So in total, we have 5 vertices for this square pyramid. All right. I believe you have homework, so you can continue practicing. Go ahead and get started. Good luck.